Sometimes I feel like a star, but only strictly where I'm famous. I'm in this for the longest haul, like we'll see where it takes us. I'm throwing back these double shots like whiskey here is weightless. Cause this career I chose was even riskier than Vegas, yo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Colby Rebel Show. I am your host, Colby Rebel, where my goal is to make that connection or answer that question. So please be sure, put your name, question, connection in the comments, and let's see how many of you I can get to tonight. We have an exciting show tonight. We have a couple guests in the studio that I'm looking forward to giving readings to on air. But we also have a couple upcoming events. So let's get those out of the way, and then we will dive into those questions and connections. So everybody, just to tell you, this Saturday, I am doing Global Soul Gathering. So this is going to be an online event. This is going to be really exciting. They are based in Australia. Very excited to do this. I'm going to do readings. I'm going to do a message from Spirit. So this is something you do not want to miss out on. So for us peeps here in the Pacific, it is 5 p.m. Saturday night. For our Australian friends, it is Sunday at 10 a.m. So grab your tickets and come join me. Now, we do have the next round of development circles right around the corner. We are looking at September 5th and 6th. So September 5th is our beginner spirit development circle. If you're just looking to figure out what your gifts are, how to play with them, how to trust your intuition, how to connect, this is going to be the circle for you. For our advanced friends, those of you who are already practicing, doing it, maybe kind of continuing more on that professional level. Okay, so we have those coming up. Two other things, I am from New Jersey. I love New Jersey. And so we have our dinner with Spirit coming up October 15th. So this is dinner. Dinner is included in your Spirit messages. And we really have an amazing time. Adelphius is a fantastic venue. The meal is incredible. I mean, people just rave about the quality of the food. So you have a meal, you have messages from Spirit. It really is incredible. You can bring family, friends. We sell out every year. So please, if you're interested, grab your ticket. Last but not least, we have our spiritual business group mentoring. This is an add-on. It's a bonus. We start September 14th. So all of this is on the website, colbyrebel.com. So you can kind of, if I went too quick for you, just go to the website. You can see what fits. Feel free to email us if you have any questions. Let's get settled. Let's do this. Let's dive in. I really want to talk to Edgar here. I know he really is at a crossroads. Some family things I think are going on. I really want to help him out, dive in. So let's bring Edgar on.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, Edgar. How are you, honey?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. So I know you said, I think you have some questions around family or connection. Tell me a little bit about what you need tonight and let me dive in a little bit deeper for you.
Well, it's mostly, if you could give me guidance on the family situation. I had a lot of family turn their back on me.
Yeah. I get this. Let me dive in here and then I'm going to let you talk too. Okay, Edgar, but I know this is really tough because I feel like, I know this hits you really hard because I know you're a really loyal person. And I actually feel like you're very trustworthy. I think that there's some misconceptions behind the scenes with family members. It's almost like something or somebody started something and then the others kind of caught on. So I feel like they turned their back in order for them to stay together. So it's almost like, well, they're together and then they're all kind of exiting you or exiling you. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly what's going on.
Okay, I feel like one person in particular is directly responsible behind this. So I feel like it's like, okay, we have this one person, and I think this person is very close to you. I think it's someone you really trusted. So I feel like, I just shown a dagger in the back. I keep hearing to have faith and to trust. Like you're also Edgar. Oh my God, there's so much going on for you, bud. You're also at a transition yourself. So I feel like you're at a place now where it's really of like, wait a minute, I kind of let these people in my life too long. I've been there for them way too long, more than they've been there for me. So I feel like this is about standing up for yourself. And I absolutely feel like the truth is going to come out, Edgar. I really, really do. I think this person behind the scenes that's doing this, they're going to do it to somebody else. So I think the family unit is going to start to see this pattern. And, it may take a little bit. I mean, I feel like it may take a year for them to see this and then come back to you. This is where your forgiveness is really going to have to come in. I think you are a very forgiving person. You're so emotionally intelligent. I mean, it's really interesting. You kind of come across as a gangster, but I think you're quite the teddy bear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just those who know you. But it's interesting because I do feel like I think it's so hurtful and harmful, but I see you getting through this. I feel like it's going to be okay. I feel like you're absolutely going to get on the other side of this. But the biggest part of this is don't kind of belittle yourself to their level. And I think that's the biggest part. You got to be, who you are, and they have to realize that. And I think they're going to realize that naturally through the course of time, not anything necessarily that you could do proactively.
Yeah. And that's exactly what my mindset is now. Like I'm just gonna do me because I like at least I know what's right, and I'm just gonna let time be, you know.
Yeah. And what's interesting is when we are at these crossroads, I think what's pretty insane is, this is the universe at work, because I feel like the universe spirit is elevating you and your vibration. So to kind of say, hey, who's your most powerful self? Who's your most authentic self? Who are you meant to be? So I feel like you are in the works of that at the moment. And so that's why some of this vibration doesn't work, especially the person who is kind of wagging a finger behind your back and trying to, they're really insecure. And I think they're just trying to get other people on their side.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah. There's a female associated with this as well. Would you understand that, Edgar? Do we happen to have a daughter or a family member that's also kind of in the midst of like not really sure which way to lean?
With the family drama, it's my sister.
That's what it is. Okay, got it. I feel like, to be honest, I feel like she's a little uncertain as to where to lean or where to trust or where to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I almost feel like she's being influenced or coerced by a third party. There's like another person, I think, trying to get in the mix of it. And so she loves you. I honestly feel like your sister loves you, Edgar. I really do. But she also isn't sure who to believe, who to trust. Like she kind of wants power at the moment. Do you understand that around the situation?
I do.
Okay. I want you to be gentle. I know this is really tough, but I really see this working out. I feel like it's going to kind of blow itself over. It's just so much about you really being honest in who you are. Do not deviate from that. Don't even try to deviate to please them. I think the most important thing is that you be who you are. And I feel like it's coming in. Can I ask, Edgar, if you're married? Because I keep feeling romance coming in around you, like so strong with you.
I am married, yes.
So it's interesting with this relationship. Are you finding that, with the issues with the family, it's actually allowing you to focus more on the marriage or bring your spouse closer? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Because I cut off people thinking that we're family, but
Yeah.
turned out to be they're not. So I'm focusing more on my immediate family, which is my kids.
Yeah, I just feel like I know this is so painful for you because I know you come from the standard of family and connection, but I feel like this is going to end up being a blessing in disguise because I feel like it's going to strengthen your marriage and your relationship with your own kids in such a way that I think it's going to last a lifetime. I really, really do. And your wife is so right by she is So here's what's great. She lets you lead the pack. I mean, she does, but she is fierce. I mean, she is right by your side with this. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
I feel like she absolutely like I think she 100% has your back, and that's incredible. I mean, I think she is absolutely like, we don't need them. We can do this on our own if we need to. I know she sees the pain that it causes you, but I feel like it's showing you two why you two are together as soulmates.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So I hope this helped, honey. Did this help you at all, babe?
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. You are so welcome. I think if anything, I would love to see you do some inspirational talks, videos. I think you would be so great at it, Edgar.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You have a great night, honey.
Thank you. Likewise.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Can you guys, I don't know about you, but I could feel what a beautiful soul Edgar has. And, it's very hard when we feel betrayed by those we love. When you give everything you've got and you have the best intention and the best motives, and for some reason, someone, for their own insecurities doesn't believe it or kind of goes on the attack, I know it can be very painful and hurtful. So our best to Edgar for sure. Okay, let's bring on Angela here.
Hi.
Hi, Angela. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I am well. What can I do for you tonight?
So I'm trying to connect with a past loved one. His name is Gary, and we were in a relationship, and there was a very tragic ending to his life, unfortunately. So trying to move on with life, but it just doesn't really seem like I'd ever want to date again. So I'm just kind of
Yeah. I want to talk about this because it there's a lot of things. For me, it feels like it took so long to find Gary. I almost feel like, the sense I get was like, oh, there you are, and it took forever, but man, was it worth the wait? But the other thing, Angela, with Gary, this doesn't feel like it was super easy. I don't think this was a super easy, oh, yeah, we got this, babe. I feel like it really tested you in so many ways of your strength and of your love. Do you understand that? I also, unless I'm misinterpreting, I think Gary also had some personal demons or issues he was dealing with. A lot of personal battles. Do you understand that? And as I tune in, so, I just did a video on this today, which is interesting. It has not been released yet. So, but I think it's why the universe and spirit are bringing you to me today on this special day. Gary is by absolutely a soulmate. I think Gary is truly a soulmate. That means you have a connection that goes beyond this physical world. You have a connection that is so deep and so loving and so connected. And that bond will never, ever be broken. Okay. I do believe, though, within that connection, you were more there to help Gary. I think in some ways he showed you a lot, showed you unconditional love. But I really feel like I think our destiny is out there. And I feel it's almost like you met him right before he passed. I don't think you were with him too long before he actually passed
No.
away. And I feel like that was because he was meant to experience true and unconditional and unforgiving love prior to his passing. And then once he was able to experience it, he was able to transition. Now, you were not able to fix him. You- and I know you feel shortchanged, and I'm really sorry for that. But I also feel like this experience is bracing you for what we call the twin flame. So Gary will forever be close and will forever be connected. And I think there's going to be there's nothing I'm going to say or do that will make you get over this relationship. He will be with you, and he will forever ever be in your heart. And that is true, that is meaningful. You will forever think of him. You will forever think of what could have been. Okay, forever. That's not going to go away. But I think if we give you a little time to process it and kind of go, okay, well, what was my role? What was his role? What was the meaning of us coming together? And I feel like as you process that, I think you'll then be able to find yourself able to open up your heart again. And that's when I see what we call the twin flame coming in. Now, the twin flame is literally the other half of you. It really is like two souls as one. And we get one of them. I feel like, God, Gary feels so close, but I'm really going to put him in the soulmate category because I don't feel like that twin flame has come in. And I feel like that twin flame will come in. Now, what's going to be crazy interesting about this, that twin flame, that it's two souls split as one, he's going to have a lot of the characteristics and attributes of Gary. I mean, it's going to be like, oh my God, how did I get this second chance with you? But it's like without the hardships, that's not saying it's going to be free flowing and easy. I mean, every relationship takes work and time and effort and commitment. But I think Gary really struggled, I think, Angela. I really feel like he struggled with the physical realm and his habits and his behavior that I think you loved him unconditionally through. I don't feel like the new person will have those parts of it. So I feel like it's going to be like a 2.0, if you could think of that. And you will be able to love, and you will be able to love unconditionally. And you will have just this like, wow, it's going to be like, I don't think it could have gotten any better. And then it's better. And you're like, it's beautiful and it's grateful and it's amazing. And the two of you just, and Gary's going to be there. I really, Gary, I think Gary's going to bring this man to you. I really do. I just feel like prior, I think you gave him hope. I think you gave inspiration to live. I think you gave him motivation. I think, he was able to see everything. I just feel like he kind of couldn't get over the obstacles he was facing on his own in the way he was trying to. And I feel like one of the greatest things about Gary, he was able to be vulnerable with you, I think in a way he was never, ever be able to have been in the past. Ever, ever, ever. I think this man grew up sheltered and hiding his feelings and not easy. It was not an easy path. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I think you two saw it. I feel like it was instantaneous and sparks and everything in between. And so I know that he loved you with everything. I mean, the love is very, very real. And the love will always be real. But I almost feel like he may have said, I'm not good enough for you, or I don't deserve you. You're too good for me. I almost like those literal words would have come out of his mouth. And would you understand that?
Yeah.
I can't. Yes. Okay. So I feel like with that, he's going to send you someone who is still rough and tough. I mean, Gary's a little bit rough and tough. He's sending you someone a little rough and tough and a little manly and all those fun things. But I think with a little less of the complications and the obstacles, and someone who's in a place of a little more being open and open to the relationship. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like this is going to be amazing. One thing Gary wants to say to you, because I just feel like it was also an ebb of flow of you telling him how it was and like, hey, I'm not going to put up with this or that. Like, if you want to be with me, you need to be X, Y, Z. And then I think he passed without really reconciling that. He passed without you guys being at that same place at that same time. But he thanks you so much, because I feel like more than anything, Angela, that's what showed him how much you loved him. He knew how much. I want you to realize he knew how much you loved him, and he loved you the same way. I just feel like he was struggling in having the confidence in being the man who you saw him being. Even though he was capable of it, I think he had lack of confidence that he could be that man.
Right.
And I feel like it was a goal, but I feel like he passed before he was able to do that. But this new person coming in, I think it's going to be unbelievable, the similarities. I think it's going to be like he's going to look a little like Gary. It's not going to be Gary. He's going to look a little like him. You're going to be very, very, very attracted to him. I mean, there's going to be a strong physical attraction, but emotional connection. I just feel like he'll be a little bit further along on the peace and tranquility in his life, so that he'll be in a better place to have you there as a partner. Do you understand that? I see a man with tattoos though? Did Gary happen to have some tattoos?
Didn't.
Okay, this man coming in may have a tattoo. So I don't want that to throw you off, okay, Angela? Don't be like, oh, well, she said he didn't. Don't let the tattoo throw you off. There's going to be I think what's wonderful, I love the strong physical there's going to be a strong physical connection that doesn't dimmer, but there's also going to be a strong, very spiritual connection as well, okay?
That's great.
So, you're going to have to allow yourself that healing. I'm going to invite you to not get stuck in the healing process. We all have our divine time of healing, but we can perpetuate deeper healing. Like we can perpetuate not getting out of it if we don't focus on understanding the higher reason or the higher purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as much as you get in and you dive in deep, and I think there's there's just a lot that feel cheated. Woe is me. Are you kidding me? Like what? And also the realization, I think you knew when he was with you, he was someone you loved, but you also were like, hey, I'm not going to put up with this, or I'm not going to be treated this way. And I think there's some regret afterwards. Was I too hard? Was the boundaries? Could I do it over? I think you did it exactly the way that was needed. And Gary understands that. I feel like Gary was already on a trajectory for his experience in the physical realm. It was already there, set in stone. I think the miracle of this and the beauty of this that was unexpected for him was that you gave him true and unconditional love that I don't think he was expecting at all. And so I want you to know that that's what you gave him. And I feel like he's trying to reciprocate that, to say, hey, this is it, but there's so much more beyond this. And to don't close off because of this particular experience, okay?
That's wonderful.
So I will leave that with you, Angela, okay?
Thank you.
You are so welcome. And I can't wait to see the new bow coming in, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Lots of love to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye. Okay, let's see Nicole. Hi, Colby. I'm looking to connect with Keith, my husband who passed away. Does he have any messages for me? Nicole, the first thing he says is shake it up. So I don't know what you've been doing, but I feel like he wants you to have fun. He's like, shake it up. So I feel like that is putting yourself out there in a bigger and bolder way, almost like showing off. I don't know. Either you don't like attention, you don't like to be the center of attention, but I feel like the first thing he's like is, no, you got to shake it out, babe. You got to shake it off. You got to kind of put yourself out there. So I think that that's a really strong message coming from him. I feel like he was so playful. He just gives me the feeling of being very touchy-feely with you, very playful. And I think just in an essence, someone who really, really adored you. Nicole very much adores you. But it's also in a way that you're more isolated, I think, at the moment, or definitely kind of dimming the light, as we like to say, kind of in the industry, right? And so I feel like he's trying to say, wait a second, you were so playful and you were so fun. I need you to be that person again. I want you to put that out there again. I feel like that's really, really important. So I'm not sure what you've been doing at the moment, but I feel like it's just letting you know that he's right there by you. But he's also kind of saying, hey, I want you to start putting yourself out there more, start kind of playing. Don't be afraid to be the center of attention. And and to know that there are people around you that want to do things with you, share things with you. So it's almost like kind of pushing you to get out there more, Nicole. Okay. So I definitely feel like that's a big part of, why he is coming through. But super fun, very playful, as we said, and just someone who, I don't know, I just feel like he didn't take life too seriously. I feel like he just allowed things to kind of roll off his shoulders as he needed. And I think that's also what he's kind of trying to bring forward to you now. Let it roll off. Don't let it sit with you. Don't let it bother you. Try not to mull over it too long. Again, try not to maybe worry about what other people are thinking. Okay. So know that he's very much with you, gives you his love. And I think it's much more putting yourself out there. So I will leave that with you. Okay. All right, everybody. Let's see here. Okay. So let's bring on Julia. Julia, I would love a reading. Julia, I think one of the best things here is let's see. Julia, the first thing that comes in is a male for you on the other side. So I feel like we have a male on the other side that feels to be very, very supportive of you, that feels to want to give you kind of a big hug, big kiss. So this definitely feels like family to me. This may even be a father for you, Julie. So I'm wondering if we might have dad on the other side. But this man comes through and he gives me a little twinkle in his eye and a little bit of like reassuring you that you are on the right path. So I feel like maybe you've been thinking about a new project. Maybe there's something that you've been like, oh, kind of asking if like, should I do this? Is this the next part? And I feel like he's absolutely saying, yes, you can do this. You're absolutely meant to do this. I think it's more about taking action now on your side of things. Okay. So it's almost getting out of your thought process, your way, and taking action. So I will leave that with you, honey. Okay. All right, Julie. Jeannie, here we go. I'm still waiting on the apartment in Toluca Lake. What do you see happening? I feel like October is going to be a big month, Jeannie. So I feel like we have some answers, some resolutions, some next steps that are coming forward in October. So I think there's big moves and big transitions happening in the month of October. So I want you to stay tuned and kind of go, okay, I want you to pack your bags and get ready because October feels like the big month. So I will leave that with you. Okay. Okay. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Hi, Colby. My sister and I's close friend Karen just passed away recently. Oh, she was the most selfless person we've ever known, the most beautiful soul, Ashley Marie. And I would like to know how she's doing and what we can do for her family. Anything special, we are here for them. This is really, really sweet. So let's kind of tune into our friend here, Ashley Marie. Ashley Marie gives me the most like sensitive eyes, beautiful eyes. Like I just feel like there's something about it where she had so much compassion, especially when she was talking to someone. Very, very, her name, thank you. Very, very, Karen to me feels to be very optimistic. I don't know. It's very interesting. I always feel like Karen could see the positive side of things. Very thoughtful. I feel like she'd remember the birthdays, little cards, little gifts. So she gives me the sense of being very, I think it made her feel good. I think for her, that was her way of being close to people. I think she very much enjoyed the people in her life, and very, very supportive in that way. And I feel like the thing, what's really important is when I ask Karen, like, what could you do for her family? It's these things of creating special moments, because Karen was always about special moments. There's something around food. I don't know if she wants you to cook for them or if Karen would always have the door open for you to eat. But I keep feeling like there's something around coming together, seeing if they'll do a night together, a night, where it's you. I feel like almost like you getting together with them and sharing memories or sharing stories and that sort of thing. I feel like that would be great. So, I'm wondering if that's something maybe you could arrange or think about doing. I also feel like Karen loved making things. So I feel like Karen was great at making things like little gifts, little trinkets, like writing out cards, that sort of thing. So she gives me a lot of that she liked making and creating. So ask yourself, what could we make or create that would honor her? What are her favorite things? And I feel like that would be good. I'm just curious. I don't know if this is Carrie. Can anybody connect to horses? I don't know. The idea of horses came in. I'm not really sure why, if anybody kind of can connect to horses. So if you can, I'll wait a moment here to see if I get any. Yes, I get that. I connect to a horse. But it is something about that bond. And I feel like with Karen, she had such a deep bond with friends and family. Okay, not you, Amanda. That's fine. Thank you, honey. I feel like Karen had such a deep bond with people and loved being there for people and bringing them like goodies and treats and just thoughtful things. Oh, I saw this in the store and I thought you would love it. Oh, you needed help with this. Let me help you. And I feel like it's just figuring out how to do that for her family. And that I feel like is going to be the biggest way. Okay. Oh, she did. So did she, Amanda, did Karen like horses? I'm curious. Give me a yes if you got this. Give me a yes, like a thumbs up, a yes, let me know. But I kept feeling perfect. Yes. Okay, good. So just know I feel like it's so much about that connection and that commitment. And it doesn't have to be anything grandiose. In all honesty, I feel like it's just coming together and sharing stories, because I feel like that's the most important thing as to what would make her feel special. She never likes the spotlight on her. I mean, let's be honest. So I think the way we can make it more about community, I think that's the better way to, make her feel the most special and the most included. Okay. So I will leave that with you, honey. Okay. There we go. I love that though. What a beautiful, beautiful connection. So a lot of times, everyone, you know, it's becoming in a lot that, oh, we're making a book of memories. That's perfect. So that's really great. But also think about, so when you add this book of memories real quick, see if there's text messages. Add in text messages, right? Not just a book of memories. Put text message exchange, put pictures in there. Like I think it's more if you have a voice memo that you can somehow add into it or something that's added to it. I think there's just things like that that I feel like are going to make all the difference for you. Okay. So just kind of look at it that way. How much of her authentically can we bring in? Because I feel like she was always so good when someone needed a shoulder to cry on. She was that person that people could go to. Okay. So I'll leave that with you. So just one of the things I want to really quickly talk about is, your next steps in life. A lot of times we have these ideas of what we want those next steps to look like, where we are. But we have fear. We have fear of trusting those next steps. What if we fail? What if it's not right? What if we make a mistake? What if we don't have support? And it's interesting, we had Edgar at the top of the hour, and his family turns his back on him. Now, more than likely, it felt like his family turned his back based on perception, misperception. Anybody tuning into Edgar can feel his love, his power, his goodness, his energy. But sometimes there's those around us that have a hard time believing that someone is pure good or someone is of good. And even if people make mistakes, it's finding that forgiveness and that understanding. So as you navigate your life and your experience and where you are, ask yourself, if there are people in relationships falling away, ask yourself if it's for your highest good. Because a lot of times we try to hold on to relationships because we feel like we should or that we're needed or we feel guilty if we let them go. But I think it's really important to kind of say, is this for my highest good? And if it's not, then it's having that courage to release that relationship and then having that trust that the universe will bring in someone who is more in alignment so that it is more easy and graceful and loving and kind. None of us should feel that we aren't appreciated or that we aren't loved or that we aren't valued in our relationships. And if you aren't feeling that way, be unapologetic about voicing that. Sometimes it's not the prettiest thing. Sometimes we're afraid of hurting people's feelings and we want to say something great and we want to make it all polished. At the end of the day, at least say it. Don't hold it in. If you hold it in, that creates ill will on the inside. That's going to eat you up from the inside for not being authentic to your own soul. So first and foremost, be authentic to yourself, and you can apologize. Hey, this may not be the most polished delivery. You're going to have to forgive me about what's about to come out, but let me say it. And then I promise we will work on making it prettier and more meaningful together. And I think that that's what's, important. But there are times when we release these relationships and it's going to cause us to question our own existence, our worthiness, our value, our self-love. But when we stand in that power and go to the divine, go to the highest self, the highest source of power, I promise you, you will never, ever, ever be abandoned. You will never, ever, ever be alone. And you will always find your way back home. Okay? All right, everybody. I want to thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being here. Lots of love to you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for being here. And lots of love to you. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to The Colby Rebel Show. Be sure to follow Colby on social media at Psychic Rebel. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, please head on over to iTunes to leave a review to help Colby grow the tribe. Colby is an international psychic medium, teacher, best-selling author, and speaker. She is a master teacher of the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development and is the owner of the Colby Rebel Spirit Center in Los Angeles. Visit colbyrebel.com.